everybody, Brew and Activate friends. I'm Eric, N1JUR, and I am your host and MC, and I'm with my lovely co-host. Okay, very cool. All right. Did I lose your audio there?
Oh my God, I'm muted.
Oh, wow, excellent.
I am just having a day today. So
I'm
I am Shannon, KC1OHP in the United States,
sweet.
or 2 Echo Zero Oscar Hotel Tango in the United Kingdom.
Whew. All right. I'm just sitting here pressing every button in the background going, where am I? I'm hearing my audio. I'm not hearing where'd she go? I was just talking to her 5 seconds ago before we were in the back. Oh,
It's my fault. I'm muted because I still
excellent.
have this cough that will not go away. So
Understood. It never will, from what I understand, and you're with it forever until
yeah,
spring.
apparently.
All right. Well, now that we've dodged that little bullet there, we're your park guides. We love to be mentors of POTA and all things activations and hunting. Welcome to another Brew and Activate, guys. Good morning to everybody there in the chat. We got a usual crowd here showing up in the morning. Love to see all the names and new faces too as well. But outside of that, yeah, you might be here first time. If you're not, this is where we sit around and we talk about, we analyze, we tear down and build back up everything about POTA and Parks on the Air. So each week we get together, we live stream, we talk about activating, chasing, equipment, everything else in between. And yeah, we have fun doing it. I don't know about you, but this is my highlight of the week. And no matter how much it takes me to prep to get to this point, I still love doing it. So yeah, I'm glad you guys are here with us, and we appreciate everybody there in the chat this morning. All right. Any interesting? I mean, obviously you were scrambling. You've been scrambling today all together just to get here and set things up, Shannon. How are you doing?
I'm great, Yes, it is true. I almost forgot about the show today. Not that I don't love you all, but I was sitting outside of Target, and for you ladies out there in the audience, that I think there's a few of you, how Target can just consume our brains. So I had to sort of rush to get here, and now I'm a little kerfuffled, so it's okay.
You have Target rot.
Yeah, I got my coffee, so we're recovering.
I see you've basically just deteriorated, gray matter in your brain to refill it with all the caffeination. So excellent.
Yes.
All right. Well, dude, it's going to be a fun topic today. We are just right on the heels of kicking off Support Your Parks weekend. So I'm pretty psyched to be kind of like, carrying the official, torch maybe into the weekend for everybody here. So it's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm still trying to figure out whether I'm going to be doing some activating. I definitely want to try it, but I don't know about you. If you live up here in New England, man, I just looked at the temps. Yeah, it's going to be a little bitter, chilly, kind of situation here. And maybe with a little snow too, I heard. I keep hearing different, but I don't know. What's it like? Are you guys warm down there in Lynn or no?
No, it is very cold. It was, I think, 17 degrees this morning, and it felt like 11.
Yeah.
So, pretty chilly. And then I heard like tomorrow we might be having some like rain, snow combination. I don't know. At first that was supposed to come on Sunday, but now it looks like it's going to come tomorrow. And that is not a good thing, because tomorrow I'm supposed to be going to the American Heritage Museum for their Battle of the Bulge history experience. And I already have the tickets and everything, and it's completely outdoors. So we really will be reliving the Battle of the Bulge, the, winter of 1944 in Germany, because I think it's not going to be that great of a weather. But that's okay. You know what? It's all part of the experience. So good thing I bought myself a new winter coat.
It's always so much better when you get to pay for torturing yourself in extreme conditions, all for the experience and the name of the experience, as they say. Oh my. Okay. Well, dude, looking forward to it. Are you gonna try to do any videos? Because I know a few people have been like, hey, when is Shannon gonna start turning up the video engine? Anything on the plans for that, or are you just going for the experience?
No, I'll have my camera with me. I guess maybe I'll have to bring the good old gimbal and see if I can get some decent footage. But sometimes I want to live in the moment too, so I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes.
I get it. I understand. I very much try to strike that balance. I have my wife who constantly is like, "Oh, rolling her eyes," and I know when she rolls her eyes, the camera needs to go away, kind of thing, and not become, everything doesn't have to become content, as she says. So. Cool. All right. Well, let's get into some of our usual things here for catching you guys all up on Brew and Activate here. I just want to let folks know, obviously, every week we like to keep this live stream ad-free. So if you are one of the lucky few, we obviously know that we don't get a whole lot from the old ad YouTube revenue. So, we can always, you guys, use your support, and we can do that through super chats, memberships. And we always like to throw in a weekly goal here for you guys. And so we've got a weekly goal for everybody to kind of jump in. So if maybe you're interested and you haven't gotten your official sticker pack, N1JUR Brew and Activate, I got a couple of new ones that I'm waiting for from Brew and Activate to come in. So those will be kind of thrown in there as an extra surprise. And, if there are a few that want to jump on there, we can definitely, throw in some Live Free and Ham stickers. And maybe if Shannon can ship a few up this way, you might get an official KC10HT sticker.
Oh, well, all you have to do is ask.
I do all the time. Usually it's when I'm in front of you and you have them, but...
You have literally never asked me for extra stickers, but I will find a way to get you some extra stickers.
I have. We were at Nearfest, and I said, hey, you got a couple extra stickers, and you gave them to me. So, yeah, I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying, in this scenario, I just don't have a stack over here that I can give out to our listeners.
Oh, okay. All right. So, thank you for clarifying.
No problem. That's my job. I am the summarizer in chief, I think, for the show. All right. Well, anyway, so, yeah, that's in the chat there. So, please feel free to help support the show there. We can definitely use it and keeps us up and running here.
Oh, you know what? So I was going to say, I saw a funny meme, and Grouch is in the chat. So this is perfect because I thought of him immediately. I don't know if I downloaded it and saved it. It was on Facebook. It was like it was somebody holding like a cardboard sign, and it said, we'll explain the difference between FRS and GMRS for $5. We'll stop explaining for $10. So I thought of Grouch when I saw that.
Very cool. That is very, very pertinent for him, for sure.
I mean, yeah, that's sort of like, I had this meme that I made of like, you have the swear jar, and it was like, my talking about ham radio when I'm not asked jar.
Very much so. I gave up on that a long time ago.
We just find ways to like throw that into conversation, right?
100%. 100%. So, yeah, with that, oh man, I just forgot my train of thought. I was going to go with that, but either way, it'll probably trigger back once I get on a different bus here. But yeah, so there is obviously the super chat out there, like I was saying. So feel free. We also have got our storefront over there. I know there's been a huge demand for the YL POTA Party T-shirt. That's been kicking off. People have been picking up some stickers themselves, and I also have been seeing a few of our shirts on my POTA. Let me just get the mic out of the way. The Co-Ed Naked POTA Rove shirt, which I'm wearing today, is in the storefront there as well. And I think, Shannon, you're wearing one of yours too. So, we're just, we're drinking the Kool-Aid, as they say.
Yeah. So I'm wearing my I'm Hot for Ham Radio shirt that was on the Grouch's shop, but it was a limited edition only. So if you want the Grouch to bring back the I'm Hot for Ham Radio shirt, you might have to start a petition.
There you go.
So there you go.
I'm surprised.
It looks like Roger McKeon just sent 5 N1JUR gift memberships.
Wonderful.
So,
Roger, thank you so much.
Yeah, Conti James Ham Radio, the average non-voter, JD Paley, On3 Adam, and Dan Model all just got N1JUR gift membership. Yeah. So congratulations.
Cool. Guys, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Roger, for those memberships as well. And I will be reaching out to you guys soon and saying hello. But now that you're members, head over to the channel, check stuff out. I've got much more in the back catalog that's only available for members there for videos and stuff like that. And I keep adding to them as I start to get into the groove again for this year. And so, yeah, always interested in meeting new people, and glad you guys are part of the N1JUR crew. All right. The other way you can obviously help support Shannon and I is obviously head over to our channels, like, subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell. and let us know, that you joined the channel, because that helps us get out into that algorithm. And if you are so inclined and you've been watching a bunch of my videos as well as Shannon's, make sure you hit that hype button. That hype button, I'm finding when I use it, tends to boost a lot of people's videos up there and gets it into more eyeballs, views of folks that may or may not, have an interest in ham radio. So, let's spread more curiosity in that sense and bring more people in. And so, good on that.
And then Poda Power just sent a $4.99 super chat. So thank you, Poda Power, for that.
Very cool. I think that was Vaughn there. I saw that a little earlier up at the top. So good morning, Vaughn. And hopefully Jules is somewhere in the background there. But either way, thank you guys for joining in and being part of the channel and this live stream. So, the other thing is, obviously, we always love to keep this conversation going because, POTA's just freaking awesome. I'm going to talk about it every chance I get. I mean, it's like back to Shannon's jar. I've got a separate jar in the middle just for POTA specifically when I talk about it. So we keep adding to that. Head on over to our Discord there. That link is in the description there, as well as in our chat. And so, we're all over there. Grouchy is, myself, Shannon, Tortoise, all those guys are over in the Live Free and Ham Discord. And we've got a little small channel called Brew and Activate over there. So love you to be part of that. And it's a great way to just kind of get your POTA fix. And then the last piece is that we obviously have a podcast. So maybe you're listening to this on Team Replay, as they say. Well, now you don't really have to wait for Team Replay. You can always just download the podcast. We're on every pretty much podcast player out there. Just search for Brew and Activate, spell it all out, and we'll turn up there. And we'd love to have you subscribe. And heck, if you feel so led and you want to kind of boost the rank there a little bit, leave a review. It always helps and keeps this out into more eyes and ears as they, want to learn more about POTA. And then outside of that, we've got some special, thing we want to talk about. I know last week, if you were so keen, you heard that Shannon was invited to a certain, we'll say, celebration event that she was off to after our, last show episode. And so, you got something you want to tickle there a little, Shannon?
Yeah, so last Saturday was the Cape Ann Amateur Radio Association holiday party, and I was very surprised to be named their 2025 Radio Amateur of the Year. So I got this really pretty certificate for that. And it says, in recognition of your outstanding dedication, leadership, and service to the Cape Ann Amateur Radio Association, your commitment to promoting the hobby and supporting fellow members has made a significant impact on our community. And it's signed by our club president, Brandon Hockel, NQ1W, and the vice president, Brian Lloyd, KC1SOO. So thank you to them for giving me that award. And for those of you who are friends with me on Facebook, you probably saw that I had posted about that on Saturday. And, basically, I hope to continue to make my club proud and promote goodwill through amateur radio for all people, across all nations. And also, trying to encourage more women, more young ladies and girls to get involved in, the ham radio hobby. And for those who are already in the ham radio hobby, hopefully finding their voice and becoming more radio active.
You couldn't have said it better. That was a well-crafted speech and, probably very much off the cuff because I know you don't prep for anything.
Nope, I never prep.
So, dude, congratulations. It's awesome to see, those awards are always, a great thing to have and helps kind of boost the, morale there for yourself and many others around you. And, you come to recognize. I think you definitely deserve it. We all have, seen how much awesome stuff you did. And you actually talked about a little bit of the while. So I think this is a good segue. We need to pitch more of this. So, do you want to, I can set the stage if you want for what's up and coming for the whole POTA party, but you can talk maybe a little bit about the POTA party there.
Yeah, so, I know I've talked about it before. A lot of people don't know that I actually started the International Women's Day YL POTA party 2 years ago in 2024. So, it's funny because I was talking about how I was gonna write to the editor of Radcom to see if they could get a slot in the February issue of Radcom for the, Women's Day POTA party. And Mike, Golf Zero RFD, was like, "Are you authorized to speak for the International Women's Day Wild POTA Party people?" And I was like, "Mike, I am the International Women's Day Wild POTA Party people. I started this event." So I started this event in 2024, and it gained traction almost immediately. It was on Amateur Radio Newsline that year. I've seen ICOM America actually posted about it on their social media, which was super cool.
Yep.
This year, I put out the t-shirts and they have been flying off the shelves. As you know, I get an email every time an order comes through on that. They actually had to switch us to Daily Digest because they said they were sending us
It's
too
too
many
much.
emails. So, people have been ordering the shirts. So I'm super excited to see people sharing their International Women's Day Wild POTA Party Pride. I did make an event on Facebook. So, again, if you're on Facebook, look for that event. I tried to invite as many of the YLs that I had on my friends list to that so we can kind of keep it, keep organized on that. But really, the thing is that, like, don't take it too seriously, right? Like, I always tell people it's anytime on March 8th. So from, 0 to 23:59 local time, just get out there, get on the air, activate a park. If you can't get out and activate for whatever reason, hunt parks from home. Really, if you can get together with other YLs, especially people that maybe aren't so radioactive or have never done POTA before, bring them out with you. Try to show them how much fun it can be to get on the air and activate a POTA park and how simple it can be. And, just have fun with it. And I think that sort of segues a little bit into what we're going to talk about here with Support Your Parks weekend, maybe doing, activating in some different ways too. Like, it doesn't just have to be voice.
Yep.
I remember last year, one of the groups, they were doing SSTV, which was so cool. They had, pictures of, women and stuff on the radio that they were sending over SSTV, which I love SSTV. I think it's so much fun. And, you know,
I'm with
uh,
you on that.
yeah, it's like, we all love to send memes, right? Well,
Hmm.
SSTV, you can send memes over the radio. Like, what is more nerdy and
Yeah.
and good than that?
It's the original SMS before SMS was even its own 3-letter acronym.
Yeah,
So very cool. Well, dude, there you go. We're gonna keep plugging this away because I mean it's a little bit of ways off. It's about a month and a half or so, about a month or so, give or take away. But with that, we're gonna kind of tease here a little bit because over in Live Free and Ham, we are gonna be doing a live show with Shannon and a buttload of women. I mean, I think we're maxing out our stream system here with the number of ladies that will be on there from all walks of life, all areas in the hobby, to come just hang out, talk about the how ham radio impacted them and what they do in the hobby, and kind of just encourage folks to be there. So you might see folks like Ellie Marie. I know from she's on Frequency. There'll be Shannon there. There'll be Jabberjaws is going to be there too as well. We've got folks like Jules from POTA Power. She'll be there. We've got my gosh, I'm just kind of going off the spitball off the top of my head, but we got a long list of ladies. Super excited to have that going on. So please, mark that on your calendar. That is going to be March 8th, 6th, right? Yeah, that's the 6th. My gosh, the 8th is the Sunday there. So the Friday, which is the 6th, we will have a live stream there. So make sure you're part of N1JUR as well, Shannon's channel, and any of the maybe either way, and we'll have it on Live Free and Ham as well. So looking forward to that. That's going to be a blast and really, really awesome show.
Yeah, so and then not to take away from our own brand, but On February 17th, I'm going to be on the Ham Radio Clubhouse talking about women in ham radio and the
Wow.
Wild POTA Party. And on February 22nd, I'm going to be on the European Ham Radio Show. Same thing, talking about women in ham radio. So
Very cool.
I'm going to be making the rounds to a bunch of different shows. I'll have to see if they can get those live streams onto my YouTube, or you might have to just go follow them on their respective YouTubes, but definitely be looking for the YL POTA Party stuff to be going on, all kind of next month, February into very early March.
Yep. Yeah, and I do apologize. Like I said, the list of ladies is so long. I've forgotten a few. Grouch had mentioned. Don't forget about Sandy from Black Swamp. So we are going to have a lot of your favorites that you have out there, and in the YouTube universe and ham radio in general. So that list, we'll keep teasing more of that and talking a little bit more of that as we get closer. And so make sure you get that locked in the brain there and keep an eye out for that. Because, it's going to be freaking blast. I'm looking forward to it. And, I know last week we had the drinking game go on when my internet goes down. So that's still in full force today. So if you got your coffee or whatever, feel free. I have taken the control back, and I've got dual redundant links now. So I've got Fidium and I've got Comcast at once. So if either of them go down, then the world has come to an end. You just need to stop watching Bruin Activate and go to your bunkers. And, or if you're on Verizon, sorry, but there's not much we can do about that. Okay. Well, with that, we are going to pop over to our favorite POTA Minute here. Okay, well, this is the time for our POTA Minute. This is where we take a small POTA idea, one real world observation maybe, and give it about 60 seconds. Not really kind of settle anything here, but we just want to get you thinking. So again, there's no right answer here. There's no rule books. There's no, policies or procedures to follow. We're just going to start, talking about this one topic this week, and every week going forward. I felt like we needed to kind of elevate the POTA Minute a bit, so I spent a lot of time in the background searching and coming up with better topics and whatnot. And so hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this. But we're just going to hopefully maybe get you thinking a little bit. And maybe we're going to talk about stuff that you just start noticing when you're doing your activations, or maybe you've been hunting a few thousand times or whatever. If it's happened to you, I'm going to say, hey, throw it in the chat, say hello, let us know. Maybe if you do it differently, share that for sure. And so let's get into our POTA Minute here. This one is what I'm dubbing is knowing when to QRT. This is a challenge for me and a few others that I hang around with when we're at POTA Parks. I'm going to just say a few things here. Hey, not every activation when you're out there activating needs to run until you're exhausted. And that goes for even when you don't successfully get your 10 contacts. Sometimes the bands just slow down, they tune off, they shut down, energy drops, both for yourself and maybe your radio. That might be your cue to stop. That might be your cue to say, hey, I'm ready to go QRT. Ending in an activation while things still feel good keeps it enjoyable and keeps you coming back for sure. And that goes for the hunters too as well, because sometimes when you're in the shack spinning your dial, you might be just like, oh, I can't get another park, or I can't, get that extra, park in the, my one of my award, kind of paper chasing stuff. Remember, knowing when to QRT is not quitting. To keep that in your mind, it's reading the room. You see, stop shaking your head there.
only quitters QRT.
Wow. Okay, well, that sounds like another T-shirt. See, this is already just a gold mine of
Yeah, this is just a T-shirt making factory
Federation
right
system,
here.
right? Exactly.
Exactly.
This is the brainstorming session. We're all here. So, if you ever packed up and thought, that was just right, then you know exactly what I mean. That's my stance on it. And so that's our POTA Minute. You can take it for what it's worth. Let us know. Yeah, and I'm already seeing folks in the background telling me no way.
Shannon, see, us YLs, we never QRT. We can QRT when we're dead. That could be another T-shirt. Maybe we
And
should have a
hopefully that's
maybe
so. I do
maybe
not
we
want to
should
make a contact from the other side.
maybe we should have a poll, only, only quitters QRT, or we can QRT when we're dead, or both.
Nope. Nope. I framed it out here. I said, here's food for thought, and we're moving on. All right. So with that, let's get into our usual meat and potatoes here. I got to get to my right view here.
Or bangers and mash.
Yeah, fine. Whatever floats your boat. All right. So with that, let's kind of get into our main topic in discussion today. So it's great to see everybody there in the chat. And thank you again for the new folks that have been joining on there. And so, yeah, this is Support Your Parks weekend. Consider us your kind of kickoff crew. We're getting you psyched up and ready to get out there and, brave the winter, weather there and get out and activate, or, hey, hunt from your comfort of your shack. That's a nice part about it. We are not a winter field day where they encourage you to get out there in the cold and tough it out. No, hey, if you want to hunt, feel free to spin your dial from the comfort of, your chair. But if you're, say so inclined and you want to get up there and try something and get your winter weather creds there, well, then this is a perfect time to do it, because we all know Support Your Parks weekend happens 4 times a year. Awesome event. It's kind of like our, we'll say, contesting field day, extravaganza for all of us. I know I always look forward to it. So we're going to talk a little bit we'll say the origin stories. I got a couple of bullets that I scraped from the internets and the interwebs there on some of the history of Support Your Parks weekend, why it came about. And some of the changes you may or may not have been aware of, like, things like, remember everybody, the award, the contest award that they had that's no longer there. We'll talk a little about some of that stuff. And then I'm going to throw out a challenge, because I think it's always cool to leave with something to have you try when you're out there. Maybe you're activating this weekend, instead of just kind of doing the comfortable thing and just setting up your antenna and activating, which, again, nothing wrong, but let's stretch ourselves a little bit here. Let's try something new. And I'm going to throw the challenge out there at the very end. So hopefully this will get you going. But I always love, and as Shannon alluded before, to do a little poll here. I'm curious to see everybody in the chat, what folks are thinking in terms of Support Your Parks weekend. So we got a little poll here. This is our quick poll. So are you going to participate in Support Your Parks weekend this week? And my question is how? So if you are, or you're going to do a little both, feel free to throw your votes in there. And so if you're new to the channel, welcome. But at the same time, we run off a hashtag. So from the comfort of your chat there, you can just throw in # for any of those values there. And the lovely computer system will do its thing. We'll go back and look at this in a bit. So let's, kind of set the stage here. So let me go back to my views are all over the place today. I don't know. All right, there we go. So there's our lovely views with the chats rolling in the background. So I'm going to throw in and pepper in a few kind of nuggets of truth that I kind of pulled from the interwebs there on, the origin story of Support Your Parks weekend and kind of where it went out. But question to you, Shannon. I mean, obviously, are you guys? I mean, you're going to do the Battle of the Bulge, but is that an all weekend thing, or is that a couple hours? And are you going to activate maybe this weekend?
So, yeah, it is going on both days. I have tickets for Saturday. I'm not sure how long we're going to be there. I think the actual Battle of the Bulge experience is about an hour. I think it's going to be sort of an hour-long thing that they bring you through. So they have, I think, different groups and times that you sign up for that. My time is at 3:00. But Miles always wants to go into the museum and see all the tanks and go into the airplane hangar and see all the airplanes. So we probably will be there for a good portion of Saturday, I think. But I might be able to get out and do activation on Sunday, even if it is just, something quick where I might have to, limit myself to, 12 contacts, or limit myself to only 1 hour hour, which
Or
I don't know
4
how
contacts. How about that?
4, but that's not an activation. It's not this
Doesn't
isn't
Oh my
soda.
god! Wow, I never said it is not. It is an activation technically because those 4 contacts were actually people that expect to be in the logs. But
Yeah, but it would
yeah,
be a
you might
failed
have not.
activation.
Oh, don't use that word. It's evil. It's a learning experience. Move along. Didn't you learn anything from our previous episodes where we talked about failure?
No, I'm not gonna leave a park if I
Hmm.
don't have 10 contacts at least. So,
Okay.
and then you always gotta get a couple extra because what if there's, like, an invalid call sign or something doesn't come up right? Like, I don't want that FAILD FAILED.
coming coming from a like my grammar Nazi here, that was impressive. That one's going in the books. How do you spell school? All right. Well, very cool. So here's a couple little nuggets of truth, and again, I get it. Like I'll share a little bit of kind of what my plan is for the weekend. I found that as I was scraping through the interwebs trying to find out some information that one of the things with Support Your Parks weekend and how it all kind of originated. It wasn't a contest to begin with, and as we kind of alluded to before, even say the Parks on the Air program started, there was like National Parks on the Air, which is an ARL initiative. So once people got into the Parks on the Air program, they very much were like, I really want a dedicated weekend where I could just do POTA the whole entire time and people could just, hunt me and whatnot. And so it didn't start as a contest, but it got so popular that after a while that, people started like going, hey, I want an award. I want to make this, competitive in some sense. And I applaud and tip the hat of the, Parks on the Air administrators and stuff like that. They honored that goal. But at the same time, they also very much didn't keep it running like half of the billion contests that we have around here. They kind of ended it with the intention that it wasn't of the spirit of what POTA really is. And so that's what I love about the fact is that they didn't just turn this into another contest machine and a way to chase paper. They gave, that radical middle view of like, hey, if you want to do that, you can do that. If you want to just, be out there. And for me, I think Parks on the Air, the Support Your Parks weekend for our club, for people I've hung around with, it's a great social experience. Like, I mean, I don't know if anybody here in the chat, has attended or maybe run a Support Your Parks weekend POTA meetup. We try to do them in our club because it's just an easy way to, it's like shooting fish in a barrel because literally everybody's out there on the weekend. You're bound to make a contact unless you're running off your dummy load. And even then you might still be able to make contacts. It's, kind of crazy how, much activity is there for every Support Your Parks on the weekend. I mean, you're sort of like that, Shannon, right? You've done meetups and stuff like that with your clubs.
Oh, yeah, definitely. POTA is always more fun with more people. So
100%. And food.
Yes.
If you could do that.
Yes. Bring food and they will come.
Yes. Ooh, there's another t-shirt. Man, we're just rolling. We're hot today. All right. So yeah, with that, it looks like so far our poll, people are doing a little both, which is awesome to see. So I have a feeling on, there's no solar flares, no major activity. Last time when I looked at the good old Geocron there, it looked like everything was in, good form. I've had a few people actually just real quick sidebar that little, color around there that is tuned. I built that into my home automation stuff based off of cold temperatures as well as, warm temperatures. So as you're watching it, maybe in the background, today is obviously blue because it's freaking freezing. So that's my little visual to say, hey, if the temperatures are in this range, it's too damn cold. Make sure you're wearing a sweater or something.
So what is that building? Is it the John Hancock building in Boston that
Boston,
like flashes? So
exactly.
You have your own John
Hancock. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if you happen to catch that in other, my videos and stuff like that, yeah, know that that's what the temperature is at that moment when I'm, live streaming or recording or whatever. So pretty cool. That was a fun little, kind of coding thing to build into the Geocron to make it all work, but it was pretty cool. So yeah, with that, some of the other stuff for Support Your Parks. I mean, we all alluded to it. It's community momentum. And we all love the fact that every time it comes up, there's always somebody going, yeah, hey, what are you going to do? And inviting in and including and making more people, excited about the activity. It's great for obviously our activators and encouraging our hunters to get out there, spin their radios on the weekends. Just one more kind of weekend on a very casual note to maybe someone who's not a contester but like wants to be able to like get out there and make contacts and talk to people, because it's not a contest. It's not like a signal exchange, move on to the next one, try to rack in as most contacts as you can. It's kind of about challenging yourself. I mean, we kind of forget a little bit that when you go out and activate, you're practicing, you're doing stuff for both preparation, but at the same time you're learning your equipment, you're learning about radio propagation, you're learning about RF, you're getting all of those things. And every time, for me, I know I'm always got something new to learn, and or some way to be able to get better. And it's really cool to see that you can do that now with a bunch of more people, and it's not like I have to haul my entire shack out for the entire weekend to set up a tent for 24 hours to operate on field day and blah blah blah, and all of the other kind of administrative stuff, that because it's light, compact, and fun. You can do it on your own, you could do it with a group, all the above. So let me see if I stick to my notes here so I don't get too far down the rabbit holes today. So yeah, it's very much like kind of the four things that I kind of culled from it. So it's definitely got a spark. I mean, you and we talk about it. It always is something to talk about. It's fun, right? I mean, like you go to your club meeting, Shannon, what's usually the main topic that most people want to talk when they're not doing, watching a guest speaker? POTA?
I mean, that's what I talk about.
Okay, so
usually what I do is I put through and activate the previous week's episode up on the big screen so everybody can watch it.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, totally. That's a smart way to do it. And so, yeah, you might, want to invigorate others to kind of, get onto it. And this is the kind of cool thing. So, like, I'll do this as much as I can. When it comes up, I'll mention to folks, hey, what's your support, come to Support Your Parks Weekend. What's going on? And they'll be like, what's Support Your Parks Weekend? And you'd be surprised. There are still a few bunch of hams that don't even know about POTA, which, I mean, it's so hard to fathom it these days.
It's mind-blowing to me that there are people out there that don't know what POTA is.
I know.
But there are also people out there that don't know that there is an Echolink app now. They think you still have to do it the old way, where you have to hook into an Echolink repeater and like link to the other Echolink node. I'm like, you don't need to have a node near you. Just use your phone.
Yep.
Use your phone, bro.
Let's not get into the RF discussion here. I don't want to hear it. This is not the place or time. Oh, come on, Ricker House. You know what's POTA. My gosh, really? Yeah, so, the nice part about POTA is the simplicity of it. I think that's the coolest thing. It's like, I don't have to search the web to find out what the methodology is, the contacts, how to do POTA. It's pretty much just a weekend of getting together, hanging out, making contacts, just having fun, very casual. And it really is, I think, the best opportunity to invite people in. Like, I think a lot of people, when they hear Support Your Parks Weekend, I've seen a few activators, they'll go out and they'll be like, oh, I'm going to go out in the woods by myself, or I'll go to several parks, or I'll rove all by myself. And it's like, okay, dude, that's cool. But dude, it would be cool to have a co-pilot with you. It'd be cool to invite somebody along to be able to get that whole experience, because roving is challenging. Roving is fun. And roving is, very different than a lot of the other activities we do in the hobby. And so, yeah, invite people in, get them excited about doing stuff like that, and build like a really cool culture around, being the POTA guru of the club, I guess. And don't let that go to your head. I mean, just like, be the person that everyone goes, hey, Eric knows about POTA, go talk to him. And I'll be like, oh, well, hey, this is how I do. And then go meet, Todd. Todd knows more about POTA, and just kind of pass it along and just get more people involved and get them excited, because SYP is a perfect time to say, and come with me, instead of like where there is no SYP, you kind of go, oh, we should do an activation sometime soon, which I kind of feel like is just lip service sometimes for some folks. It's like, oh, I'll do an activation with you anytime. And they get very surprised when I push. I'm like, hey, how are you? Are you available this week? Are you available during the weekend? Let's schedule something this week on the calendar. And the look on their face is like, yeah, they're a little taken back by the whole ordeal. And it's like, well, now you have Support Your Parks Weekend, and now you just got this big venue that say, hey, come by. We'll be here the whole, 4 hours, 8 hours, whatever, your time limit dictates. So, all right. the other things here, let's go back. Since we obviously know where we are chat wise. I mean, sounds like everyone's gonna be doing a little both, so it's really cool to see folks are getting out there. And so one of the other things I wanted to talk about in kind of our stuff is we're not going to dive into it deep because we've got previous episodes. You can go back in the catalog for winter prep and getting into activations per se physically. There's some great suggestions, great stuff in that video. And if you need it, I'll post a link in our Discord of that episode that we did. And that really went into the details of kind of, how to prepare for an winter activation and all of the stuff around it. But with, the overall ethos, we'll say, of, POTA and Support Your Parks Weekend, one of the things I wanted to just lightly touch on, because I think some of the things that we always tend to forget when the days trigger us and are warmer on a winter, like an example was, I was down at the Cape yesterday with my parents, and it was like almost 60 degrees with a light breeze. And I was like, I packed for like jacket, sweater, the whole 9 yards, and it was nice and warm down there. And I was just like, this is just, very, very different from where I left home, which was, right around like 35, 40, and, definitely chillier when you weren't in the sun. So it's very much one of those things that I kind of was thinking about on that car ride down there. Was just like, hey, we just need to touch on those things so people just don't, get overly, focused on the POTA activity or Support Your Parks Weekend versus thinking about some of their, safety and all their digits. We don't want anybody to lose their digits, right?
No, definitely not. Safety first.
Mm-hmm. And second and third. I'm waiting for the rest of the folks to tell me no. But all right, so let's talk a little bit. Actually, I want to, before we do that, one of the questions I kind of wanted to prompt folks in the chat there, and maybe you're saying, do you remember your first Support Your Parks Weekend?
I probably went out on Support Your Parks Weekend and didn't even do it on purpose, I think.
Oh, just kind of like go do this anyway? Okay.
Yeah, I probably just went out and did a POTA, and then I looked at my awards, and I had an award for Support Your Parks Weekend, and I was like, oh, well, there you go.
It's like, hey, I've activated 100 unique resources. I didn't even know I did 100
I mean, probably the first time that I did it on purpose was the fall one that I just did, where I met up with the people, from my, my Adventures in Wonderland Discord
Oh,
group.
right.
And that was the one where we got pizza and, we had a really fun time. I think at one point we had like 5 or 8 people in the rotation of, like, please stand by for 8th activator.
I know, right? It's like you can only do so many splitters before it becomes too difficult.
No, I don't believe in splitters, okay? Because
Gosh.
how are you going to accidentally brush hands with your POTA partner if you have a mic splitter? You have to physically pass the mic.
No, you don't. That's the reason why a splitter was created. Yeah. So for me, I'm trying to think. It's been so long, but I think the first Support Your Parks Weekend for me was probably similar to your, story. There is that I think I just went out. It was probably maybe at the time I was either with Grouch or with Todd, and we were just kind of like, oh, let's give this a shot and see what it's like. And that's when I think it really bit me hard, because it was like I was a pile up during regular Support Your Parks week, non-Support Your Parks weekends, but when you went out there, it was like, holy crap, they're all looking for me. They all want to make contact with me. And it was just like a nonstop. I think it was just very much, I'd have to go back and look at my logs to see when those occurred. But my gut feeling is that I felt like that euphoria that you get, like, oh my gosh, I'm Galapagos Islands. I'm the DX, let's make this happen. So I think for me, it was pretty cool. And it really kind of just was the impetus for me, because I never like to do anything alone by myself, or if on a smaller scale, I always like to make it bigger. And so that's when I was like getting all my club involved. So we were like, we got to have an event. And so I can't tell you how many people started to like latch on. And that's when I met folks like Keith, AC1RH. And we all know Keith. I just got my ham alert. He's out there this morning activating every day. So, folks like him and many others that we all had, an opportunity to just come and hang out. So that was always cool to see this great way to gather. And I didn't have to create it. It was just a matter of like, hey, we're just going to go do this at a park. come hang out with us. And the response was resounding. So it was really cool. So let's get into some of our weekend expectations. So I want to talk a little bit about around that just to get you guys up to date. And so what we're going to do here is I'm going to get out of the poll there. And so I want to kind of give you guys a little bit of some things to chew on for this weekend, just so you can think about it. And as you're building and thinking and, scheming in the background, because I'm sure a few folks are all, thinking like, oh, I want to go to this park. I want to do this thing. I want to do this type of activity. Think about, these three things. Obviously, park selection for this weekend. You want to make sure checking out, maybe doing a little pre-scoping of your park to make sure if you're up here in New England and you still snow or you have snow in your area, make sure it's plowed, make sure it's accessible and open, because you don't want to be at a park that has the gates closed. I know I talked to a couple of activators or I heard on a podcast recently where a few folks had said, oh, well, I parked out in front of the gate because the winter, session on the calendar made the park closed. Well, it's like things like that. You don't want to, be parked on the side of the road, setting up antennas, where there might be traffic, that type of stuff. Think about wind exposure, because up here, I can hear the winds howling in the background. They're definitely, starting to kick in, which is going to make it colder. And then we'll talk cell coverage, which I didn't really think this thing through. I mean, hopefully we don't have another Verizon outage and we're not, worried about that. But in essence, think about, if you need to do cell coverage or, getting yourself spotted other ways, come up with a mechanism that you can get yourself spotted so you can just get right into it and start going. And maybe if you're doing a rove, there's a couple of challenges that we're going to talk about at the end that I'm going to hope to throw for you guys to see if you're up for it. And, we'll talk a little around that. But yeah, talk about timing. How much, when you're going to activate, what time of the day. We all know we're getting a little longer in our days, but not like by leaps and bounds. So plan around that, because you don't want to be caught in the cold without some sun. You don't want to be caught, the dead of night without having, some methods of heating and stuff like that. And pay attention to those park closing rules, because there will be those times that, you have to abide by them and, just be considerate of that stuff. So, anything around there you want to throw in there, Shannon, before I get to the third point?
Nope, that all sounds pretty good to me. Stuff
Excellent.
that we talked about on, if you remember back sort of at the very beginning of winter, we talked about ways to activate during winter. So if you need any reminders on how to do, support your parks weekend or winter field day, just, go back to that, episode, a couple months ago where we talked about ways to keep warm and comfortable when it's cold.
I will post that in the description after. So if you're looking for that, I'll also throw it over in the Discord so you can go back and listen to that. That was definitely a good episode, jam-packed with a lot of good stuff in there, both from safety and gear and just comfort. Last thing is always operation style. We all have different operating styles. You ladies were talking about, make that last contact till I die kind of thing. This is not that environment to do it in. Don't let frostbite take control. Make sure you do quick hits, versus your extended type activations. Think about that. Because, one of the things that's nice to, is to be smart about your activations. We want you here in the long haul. We want to all be able to, make contacts with you. We want to get you all on the log. So just don't be stupid. All right, we're going to talk a little chasers, because I think this is important. This is a little bit lighter stuff because, chasers get the comfort of being in their home shacks, doing stuff. Although you can be a chaser out in the road. There's no wrong with that. You don't have to be in a park. You can be mobile. Make sure you understand how to spot activators efficiently, because, there are obviously all their typical spotting practices we discussed and talked a lot on. Pay attention to things like ham alert. Those are always important. If you got some favorite hunters in there or favorite activators in there, make sure they're in your ham alert so you get notified when they go live. And pay attention to the cluster and that stuff, because that thing is going to be screaming this weekend and it's going to be super active. So always good to know when and where and how. Always pay attention to that. Here's the thing that we all forget, because it's Support Your Parks weekend. Help new activators. You bring them along. Get them involved. Get them on the radio. Be the person helping them. Be their Elmer and mentor. This is a perfect time because you already know how to do a activation. bring someone along, even maybe it's a family member and they're interested in radio, bring them along, have them play a little radio with you, or a new technician, have them come along, use your call sign, make contacts, get them involved, get them super excited, use that option to be patient. This is the one thing you're going to take away from that. Be patient. Don't give someone a sour experience. That's the only thing I'll say for a takeaway with there. And then the last piece for I just totally went the opposite way in terms of helping new activators. That was more for chasers. So in essence, those that are chasing, bring them into your shack, help them along, use your radio equipment, get them involved. I was thinking activators. My brain split in one direction. Should stay to my topic. And then, optional options, etiquette. As you're a chaser, be kind. Don't be that jerk that's like, N1JUR, N1JUR, even though they haven't said QRZ. Like, give them an opportunity as an activator, at least give a gap there so you can get out there. Because I guarantee every hunter or every activator will give you the space you need to be able to get into his log. He's not going to forget you. I mean, Shannon, you make sure you get everybody. It doesn't really matter. I hang around with Todd. He makes sure every one last call gets in the log. So, yeah. Keep that and make that a consideration for sure. All right. I'm not going to get so deep into all of the weather prep because I feel like it's kind of not a dead horse, but again, like we keep alluding to, go back to that winter episode. We talked all of that in terms of clothing, station readiness, and knowing the park rules and your environment. So definitely go into that episode to learn more on that because there was a lot of great little bits and nuggets in there that you can glean from it. And so we're going to kind of dive into some of our kind of little things that I wanted to just bring to your attention on the weekend that a lot of people don't think about. And it wasn't the episode Shannon was on, but it was the episode that I had, Gary from the POTA News. I alluded to my little PSA at the very beginning about checking your coax, and a lot of people kind of got a kick out of that one. Thanks for the $2 super chat there, Mike. Appreciate that. Good luck. And play VHF. That's it. Well, man, you just like making me forced to go to our challenge. we'll hold on that one for sure. But yes, that's a good example of my POTA challenge or my Sports Parks Weekend challenge I'm going to throw out there. One of the things we alluded to is coax. Cold weather and coax makes it brittle. Pay attention to that stuff. Keep your gear, including your batteries, warm in the car if you can. Preheat them, like pretending you're making, your great stew or, your favorite breads or whatever. You preheat your oven, preheat your gear. Keep that stuff warm. Don't just take it dead cold out and expect the batteries to operate at full potential and things like that, because cold weather will zap your batteries hard. And may not even, it may even render your activation, inoperable because, the battery's not going to discharge for you because it's too damn cold. So think in those terms, be a little smart with that whole process with the idea that, you want to be out there for as much time as you can afford and have fun doing it. So definitely get those involved there. Other things. Yeah, I am getting old. That's for sure, Bob. Thank you. The other things, make sure you bring up your N+1 rules, batteries. Bring up backup batteries if you can. Support our, analog folks there. Bring a pen and paper. Because
actually, I will say a pencil and paper.
Okay.
And propelling pencils are best. But pens, when they get cold, the ink tends to like freeze up and then they don't write very well. So propelling pencils, you never have to worry about sharpening it. As long as it's filled with graphite, then you're good. Jabberjaws is saying the same thing. Pencil and paper. Analog is best. Log is even in the word analog.
Do you want to spell analog again for us?
ANALOG.
You incorrect. You're supposed to say the word, spell it, then say the word again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You failed at spelling bees, didn't you?
I didn't realize that this was a spelling bee.
It's official. That's how you do it. That's always been the way I live.
Can you use the word in a sentence, please?
No. No, I cannot. I am not going to be more analog to you than I need to be. All right. So other kind of quick things, making sure, like I said, battery backups, logging is always what we just talked about. Bringing extra things like spare line, multi-tools, and antennas are good because that's going to help you in this challenge that we're going to throw out to you guys. I always am a creature comfort person. I love to be warm. Gloves, layers, hand warmers. I just bought, and actually I'll have a video out hopefully soon, but it's on the channel coming soon, on a set of hand warmers I bought. Freaking phenomenal. I love these things. They are so damn hot. They're awesome. They're all USB controlled. But if you can pick yourself up them, they're pretty cheap and definitely cheap insurance to keeping you warm. And I say that because if you all saw my video I did with Tortoise about a week ago where we activated Robert Frost, I had just that day before gotten the hand warmers. You think I'd remember to bring them? No, I didn't bring them. And my digits froze trying to type on my screen, that day. So yeah, having things like that, definitely make it go a long way. And we probably could have stayed a little longer. Both Tortoise and I were freezing after 20 minutes. Thank God we activated the park quick, but it was freaking cold. And that was just whipping winds. And so, yeah, expect it. It will happen. All right. So we already talked about all the other stuff, spotting and emergency kit. Oh, actually, we're going to do the emergency kit. How many of you guys have in your cars emergency kits in some form or fashion? Not like a medical kit, but like an emergency kit, like batteries, flashlights, that type of stuff. You, Shannon?
I have one of those. It's like a rechargeable little thing that you're supposed to be able to use it to like jumpstart your car, which I should probably check and make sure that is charged up. But so I have one of those things, and it actually has like a USB port on it, so you can plug your phone into it to recharge your phone if you need to, and it has a light on it, so it sort of doubles as a flashlight as well.
Yeah. So having those things in your car are definitely a must. If you don't, check them for sure. Like I've got a little O-Light with a battery charge that's in the back of my truck. I've got, little snacks and stuff like that. So God forbid you ever get stuck out in a remote place that you're activating, you have those essentials to keep you, for whatever reason, dead battery in the car or, that type of stuff. Kind of have that in reserve so you can definitely, stay safe in the moments of rescue or whatever. And you have it with it. And Bricker mentioned something that I just saw go by. Yes, 100%. My daughter bought me for just randomly because she was in Costco, and you know how women are when they go into Costco, they have to come out with something. So she came out with a heated jacket vest. That thing I love. I have a small little battery charger in it, and it keeps me nice and warm. And so I don't have to layer like I used to when I was in Boy Scouts with thermals and, sweaters after sweaters after sweaters and, everything else like that. So that is definitely a big plus for your kit there. Yeah. Jump starter for a car is definitely a great idea too, as well. I think that is an awesome, in an emergency kind of situation, you never want to, if you get all possible, you never want to use your car battery to power your HF experience, but, bring a spare battery versus using your own.
Or if you're Grouch, bring like 3 spare batteries. Grouch,
Yeah.
I would love to know, actually, have you purchased any new batteries since our last POTA activations?
It's in Florida.
Drop it in chat. I know he's in Florida. What does that matter?
He's
They
not
don't sell
thinking spare batteries.
Isn't he doing POTA?
He is, but he's got, the RV battery. He's plugged into the grid. He's fine. He's not thinking battery. See? Told you. Nope.
Yep. Nope.
All right. So let's get into some of our, focus today. Again, I wanted to leave with this thing as a way to challenge my audience here and you guys, because I think you're up for it, but more so, I want to kind of get you to encourage it. Maybe you've been doing Support Your Parks weekend for quite a while now, and you're like, you kind of get into that groove, and sometimes it's comfortable, but sometimes you just don't try a lot of new things because you just got a working system. So Support Your Parks weekend is actually probably a good opportunity to kind of raise the bar, do something a little out of the ordinary. And so I've come up with a little challenge here that I've already shared with Sharon in the background. So we're going to go into that a little bit here. And so let me go over to those slides. Where is my slide? Okay, there we go. All right, so this is our Support Your Parks Weekend Activate Different Challenge. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of the challenges here, a little bit. We're going to talk them through a bit. But what I want to hopefully see from you guys is go out and try these. If, maybe you're a YouTuber or a HamTuber, do a little quick video on it. Send a short on it. Show me what you kind of set up. Or if you're not, let us know in our Discord. Send me an email. Let us know what you did and how it actually worked out. Because I think the ones or the few that have the best stories, I definitely want to make sure that, we recognize that. So we're going to mention those stories and talk about those stories on the next episode there. For next week. And maybe the coolest one, we'll put it to a poll and, someone might walk away with something, fun out of the whole ordeal. But, come contribute, come share your stories, see how Support Your Parks weekend, what you did out of these challenges. Let us know if they were successful or if they're utter failures. All the above is great, especially if you got a funny failure story. Always interested in learning and sharing because, we all can get better from all of our failure. Whatever. All of our trials, our tests. So let's get into the challenge here. Let me go. Okay. So our first challenge, I kind of broke this down into 4 different challenges. And so the first one I've got for you guys, and this will all be up on the Discord here, so you can go back. I'll list these all out there so people can, sharing is caring, Chris. Yes, 100%. These will all be posted up on our Discord there, so you can go check those out and, make sure you get them on your list. So first challenge, obviously, simple and easy, band swap. All of us have our go-to bands, 20, 10, 15, whatever. Make at least 10 contacts on a band you rarely use. So what's that going to do for you? Well, you might have to take it to a little different antenna if you don't have an antenna, or maybe your vertical antenna is only tuned for 10 and 20. Now you got to learn how to tune it for 17 or 12 or 30. Try those bands out. Try making to get to 10 contacts. I think that for me alone is a tough challenge because I don't always think about that. I'm just like, get in my comfort zone, try it. Get in my comfort zone and I stay there. I don't move. I'm like, unless the band fades on me or dies, I'll go to my next favorite band kind of thing. But I don't ever use any of these bands. I know, Shannon, you obviously love 10. You play in 10, but do you play in any other Wark bands or any other modes?
Yeah, first of all, can I talk about how I'm triggered about the fact you have 17 meters first and then 12 and then 30 and then 60? Why you didn't go in numerical order there, I don't know, but that is a problem. So
No,
besides
anyway.
that, so yeah, I mean, 17 meters, when I did K2H for the 13 Colonies event, like I was mostly on 17. 17 meters is a great band to get into the UK, especially. And 12 meters is pretty good too. 12 meters, pretty similar to 10 meters. But 30 meters and 60 meters, I haven't used too much. 60 meters, you actually can't use in the UK unless you are a full license holder.
Wow.
So fun little tidbit for people there. And 30 meters is all digital. And I don't really do digital modes in the field.
CW.
Okay,
Morse
I know
code.
CW is the original digital mode. All right, I got
also
it.
Also available on livefreeham.com/shop.
So but I'm a big proponent of 12 meters and 17 meters. It's always more quiet there. So if you like to sort of like Poda and Ragchew, then those are good bands for that. Just kind of like scroll around and see who you can find. I always hear people from the UK on those 2 bands. So.
Well, first and foremost, Shannon, the only thing I have to say to your comment about order.
I'm sorry you've been wrong your whole life, and I'm sorry I have to be the one to tell you.
And those that know the episode, you'll see more of K-Murder there. I don't care about the order, but yes, fine. I'll correct it in future, slide presentations.
Yes, future slide presentations. When we use this slide, make sure that the bands are always in numerical order, from highest to lowest or lowest to highest, but you can't just mix them up like that.
Yes, you can. Anyway. If you're going to confuse me with high to low and low to high and all the other stuff, we're going to mix them up. All right. That also includes things like Mike alluded to when he was in the chat, N2MAK. Yeah, VHF. Think of those bands, 6 meters, 6 meters, VHF, UHF frequencies.
Yeah, I was going to say that too, is, you didn't put 2 and 6 on there. Or 70
there's only so much space. Like, do I have to, if you're a ham radio operator, they're available. If you're not a ham radio operator, come talk to me and I'll share that information with you. All right. So there is challenge number 1. So band swap. So this should be a pretty easy one for a lot of folks if you don't already spend a lot of time in other bands, but give it a shot. Try different, modes, different, modes in terms of CW for the bands that require it. This is a perfect try yourself. I mean, I know a lot of folks that are trying to learn CW. Well, try it. Force it. Try to make your first 10 contacts, struggling all the way through. Next challenge here, mode swap, of course. Try a different mode. Those that I know, Shannon doesn't bring digital modes out in the field. Well, this might be an opportunity. Try doing that. Try JS8 call. Try FT4. I mean, I know when I do digital modes, my first go-to is always FT8. I never think about FT4, and FT4 is right there. All I have to do is select the drop-down menu, and I'm doing FT4. SSTV, Shannon talked about that earlier. I mean, how many of us forget that we could do that out in the park? And you could just literally, it's a perfect solution for very large groups. So like if you've got like 5-8 people at your SYP event and they're all doing a POTA meetup, so SSTV is perfect. You can take pictures of people, put them on your computer, make a little quick meme, send it out, and you just, then you can pick up your conversation because SSTV does all the work there, pull another one down, and just make as many SSTV contacts you can. Very simple, very easy, and it's a cool way to demonstrate to folks that there are other modes like this that are out there to do in a support your park's activation. So
yeah, I mean, being in a park offers the perfect opportunity to you can take a picture of the park that you're in or a picture of the park sign and make that as, one of your SSTV pictures, or take a selfie. You can list everybody that is there. You can list all their call signs on the little picture. It's so creative and fun. I just love SSTV. I love making up little SSTV memes or sending, special holiday SSTV pictures. I think everybody should do more SSTV, and that's my own personal opinion on that.
I'm with you.
And don't forget too, you don't have listed on there Feld Hell, PSK 31. What else am I thinking of?
FL Digi.
RTTY. Yeah, anything that's on FL Digi is all kinds of really cool, crazy stuff. We've had people send WeFax back and forth, which is, there's still, if you're in the New England area, there's still a WeFax broadcast at least once a day, I think, that sends all of the, all of the nautical weather data for people that are out there on ships to receive it. So that was one of the first digital broadcast things that I ever decoded back when I first got licensed. I was just scrolling around on the, on the band, and I was like, what the heck is this signal, guys? And they told me what it was. It was WeFax. So I looked up the next time it was going to start. I got the stuff to decode it, and I was like, heck yeah, I'm decoding this. This is cool.
Out of all the modes, I don't think I've ever done WeFax. I cut my teeth very early on PSK 31 and 32, and so that was very much similar to the kind of same mode.
I've had some great PSK 31 contacts that the great thing about FL Digi is when you go on there, you can kind of see the band activity, and you can see adjacent stations that are, transmitting, right? So I went on, the center of activity for PSK 31, and I saw some guy that was chatting on there, and I started chatting with him. And I think it might have been Portugal or something like that. So it was DX, PSK 31 contact. And you can just, keyboard to keyboard, you can type so much on there and, share so much. And then you can screenshot it and save it, which is really cool. I save my little digital contacts. Maybe I'm weird.
You are, but that's totally fine. Because sadly, with those tools, there's not a lot of way to log that stuff, and it's where are you going to put it? Well, you got to hold it somehow.
Well, yeah, I mean, I log it on QRZ to, in the regular way, but
the
save
discussion, that type of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish there was a way to put it a notes, but pull that in like you look at FT8, there's a small little comment line. Well, why can't we have a way to force that into a notes section? And you can go back and oh yeah, I remember we had this chat 20 months ago or whatever, with on whatever mode you were doing. So yeah, okay. Those that develop loggers, get on
Yeah,
it.
actually, that would be something cool if they added that to QRZ. Like if you could upload a screenshot to your contact, to your log on QRZ. Like same thing for SSTV because you can save the images on SSTV. I save my SSTV QSOs when people send me back, my signal reports and stuff. So that would be very cool to be able to attach that.
Cool.
So if you work for QRZ, then, hit me
Get
up
on
for more ideas.
So your Koa Naked Poto shirt, you got to come up with a slogan. I don't know what we would put in, because like at the bottom of my shirt is the Poto Rove is big mast, full power. So something like that, something, with a little bit of a, innuendo to it. Okay. All right. So next challenge here is power swap. This is that 3-letter, letters that most people get a little nervous about. Support Spark Weekend is actually probably a good time to do that because literally the funny thing people forget with QRP, you're running a little bit of lower power. So you're not going to be overwhelmed as much because not everybody can per se hear a good QRP station at lower powers. I mean, sometimes you bust through pretty quickly and you're super loud, but you've kind of narrowed your field a little bit. So the contacts you make at QRP, we'll say, are a little bit more intimate in the nature of them because it's usually people that can hear you and that can pick you up out of the noise floor. So try it, set your radios. I mean, we all have our, barefoot 100-watt radios. There is a little setting in that radio that allows you to go to 10 watts. Turn it down, try it.
Or
see
even
what it does.
5 watts.
If you so inclined, yes. If you really want to punish yourself sometimes, then yeah, 5 watts might be the best way to go. I mean, we all, you may have, or you may not be aware. I mean, Kevin K0KLB has his QRP net that he does every Sunday nights. I think. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, I've been on that QRP net. I've checked in with 5 watts, and I hooked up the G90, and I think I checked in with 1 watt on that.
Yeah. I think I've gone
as
low as 5, but yeah.
I mean, the part of it is that they have like a beam, right? So they have a big antenna, they can hear everything. But, like you were saying with the 100 watts, QRP, you have to quadruple your power just to get 1 S unit. So that means that you can like reduce your power by like 4 times and you're only losing 1 S unit. So you can go from 100 watts to 25 watts and you would only go down 1 S unit.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that is, we did touched upon a little bit of the QRP stuff, and for sure there is something there to be gleamed and something there to be able to improve your POTA skills and radio skills in general. So definitely give that a shot. Remember that, make a little stick-it note, whatever, laminate a little, 3x5 card that gives you some of these rules. So all good there. And Chris, I am not advocating, but I'm not against. I mean, it really doesn't, in my personal view, take a whole lot. I mean, outside the fact that you have to haul an amplifier out with you to do full legal limit. But dude, hey, if you're going to do it, it's one way to heat up the little space you're in very quickly. So, if you're not thinking buddy heater, think amplifier.
I mean, doesn't AC1RH use an amp in the field?
He does. Yeah. 600 watts is not legal limit, but it's close.
Well,
yeah.
Again, you would have to go from 100 watts to 400 watts, and that would only give you 1 S unit.
True, but in his case, he's probably only putting 5 watts into the amplifier or 10 watts in the amplifier. So all he has to do is just shut the amplifier off, and now he's running QRP. And then when he panics and he's not making any contacts, turn the amplifier back on. And you're cooking with gas, as they say. All right, so there's challenge number 3, and our final challenge here is antenna swap. This one I like a lot because if I do get out this weekend, hopefully, if the weather doesn't deter me or the rain, is antenna swap. I'm going to throw this out too. Everybody has their go-tos antennas. It's all part of their setup. Everybody can get set up in 5-10 minutes or less. In most cases, if you're pretty active in doing POTA activations. Try something simple. Try something that's a little odder. I defer to Walt's antenna book. that's a great resource. There are plenty of resources out there on YouTube land that covers all varying antennas. I know Walt's been doing a huge vertical series on the simple vertical, and he's doing beam shaping, beam forming, that type of stuff. That's a good opportunity to try something like that, or back to the simple stuff. If you've got a wire antenna you take with you, try going vertical. Try something a little different there. Maybe go from a random wire to a mag loop, or like I did a review on the Rybakoff like 2 weeks ago, and my antenna tuner didn't work. So trying maybe an antenna tuner with you. I don't usually bring one because I'm a Resonant guy, but always something good to try something there. Learn something while you're doing Support Your Parks weekend, because again, if you have to struggle with kind of troubleshooting it, totally fine, because you still have your backup with you. You still have your go-to antenna. You can always throw that back up and get on the air and make a few contacts to satisfy that craving. Or try something that's a little bit out of the norm, and try something new antenna-wise and see what you get, because you might surprise yourself. I think the results will definitely, definitely surprise you in a way that you're like, oh, wow, I never knew that, I can hear more, or the noise floor is less, or, that type of stuff.
Or, go full weird and make like a slink tenna.
A Sturber curtain. Yeah, the slink tenna, I've seen people do it. I don't know if I would be ready for it, just because I'd feel, I don't know, like I'd cut myself, because as a kid, I have bad experiences with the metal slinky antennas. And so we'll keep that off my list. But yeah, I'm always interested, like Shannon said. Post it, let us know. I'm curious to see what you did. And if you're so inclined to snap a few photos or video, please share it with us. It'd be awesome to see. Oh, all right. Okay, so that just there. Am I still here?
Yeah, you're still here.
Okay.
You have not dropped once.
I know. Not many drinkers today.
No.
The only thing that did, like, the reason why I panicked was my YouTube, browser refresh, said, oops, snap. And I'm like, oh, man, did I drop connections? Okay. All right. And the last thing is, obviously, I and Shannon and I both want to see your stories. So let us know what your Support Your Parks plans are. Post them in the Discord, share them with folks, and definitely get you up on the spotting page. Or a blanket. Yeah, I actually, Prep Hand Paul did the electric blanket, test too as well. So yeah, be creative in that sense. It'd be really cool. And then share, just share with us, post your stories up on the Discord under the Brew and Activate channel there. Let us know what you did. And, those stories we'll share in our next live stream with folks, just we can get a laugh, we can enjoy, and we can learn from one another. Because it's Support Your Parks weekend. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun. If you're not having fun, come
then
see
why
me.
are we
We'll
doing
figure
it?
that out. Exactly. We'll figure it out. We'll straighten you out, Shannon and I. We'll get you back on track and enjoying Parks on the Air again. So, all right. Well, like Shannon said, we had no hiccups. I had no failures. I'm so sorry for those that came here for the drinking portion of the show. We will try maybe better next time. I'm hoping I'm bringing up my level of production here. So I don't know, any last things you want to throw out there, Shannon, that we didn't cover, or,
Yeah, so did we talk about this? So nobody panic. Eric did not fire me from the show, but I probably will not be on Brew and Activate next Friday, because like I said, I will be in Florida going to Disney and Universal with Miles and my sister and her family. So I think Friday we're supposed to be going to like Epic Universe from what I've heard. So I might jump into the show like from my phone. Maybe I'll be in line for, Hagrid's motorbike adventure or something like that. We'll see what happens there. And then same thing, next Friday is also Northeast Ham Radio. And so I'm probably gonna miss that. Unfortunately, as much as I'm going to miss making heart hands with Grouch. So somebody make sure they sit next to Grouch and make heart hands so that he doesn't get too lonely. But I haven't been fired. I haven't been replaced. At least I don't think I've been replaced. No. But I will be back on Brew and Activate the following week.
You might not be replaced, but we might have a guest. I cannot do this show on my own. I don't know if the guest can reach your level of, prowess and on the ball, type A, whatever, fill in the blank. You bring the show level up and keep everything on track and keep me under control. So they might not be able to do that, but they'll be fun watching them scramble and panic. All right. Well, thank you guys again for hanging out with us again. Hopefully this was fun. And definitely get out this weekend, get in your shacks, make a couple of contacts, help those activators out there. Let them know you hear them, and share your stories with us if you're out there going to be doing a sport, an activation in during SYP weekend, and share them because we love to hear them. And with that, guys, thanks again for tuning in to Brew and Activate. I hope you enjoyed all the stuff we talked about today. And remember, whether you're activating or chasing, that key is to have fun, stay safe, keep exploring. And so with that, 7 threes.